I don't know. Angel Reese. She might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey.
Angel Reese has walked away from the Chicago Sky. Again, no warning, no explanation, just another vanishing act. Fans are furious, teammates are left stunned, and the franchise is suddenly in damage control mode, trying to salvage what's left of a season now drenched in drama. But let's be honest, this isn't shocking, it's predictable.
The world wants to know. The whole world is wondering, where in the world is Batman? I'm joking. I want to know, Chicago Sky fans, women's basketball, WNBA, Angel Reese fans, where in the world
Angel Reese walking?
Anyone who's been watching closely could see it coming. This is who Angel Reese has shown herself to be. When things get hard, she disappears. When the spotlight fades, so does her commitment. And now, it's time to stop pretending like this is some unprecedented WNBA scandal. It's not. It's just the latest chapter in the ongoing saga of Angel Reese. The brand, not the baller.
I find it very symbolic, very almost funny but not funny. Not funny haha, but funny sad, that out of all the bodily injuries that Angel Reese, a player, could experience, she's experiencing a back injury. Her back is literally hurting. And is it because that she is tired of carrying the weight of the Chicago Sky on her back, being that floor general and that floor leader? Did the Chicago Sky break Angel Reese's back?
From the jump, the hype around Reese was never really about basketball. It was about buzz, flashy outfits, viral moments, social media dominance. She's built for that world. But when it comes to the grind, the bruises, the film study, the back-to-backs, the losing streaks, that's not her arena. Her game shines when the cameras are rolling, but when it's time to dig deep, hustle back on defense, or lead in a locker room, she checks out. This is what happens when hype gets mistaken for leadership. When you build a player's brand before they've built their game. Angel Reese was treated like a generational talent from the moment she hit the pros, but let's be real, she hadn't earned that status. She showed flashes, sure, a garbage time double-double here, a flashy putback there, but where was the consistency? Where was the accountability?
Listen, everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering, what is really going on with Angel Reese? Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you gotta be, hold on, you have to have some level of self-awareness here. Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realize you no longer, you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realize your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realize it was...
Let's talk about that Rookie of the Year debate between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Was that ever even real? Please, that was pure media fabrication. One player was breaking records, elevating her team, and drawing sellout crowds. The other was racking up social media views and excuses. Clark came into the league with a target on her back and still managed to outperform almost everyone. Reese, she came in with a spotlight and wilted under it. And while Clark was diving for loose balls, logging heavy minutes, and taking hits from every direction, Reese was focused on maintaining her image. She's a master of creating viral moments, but when it's time to grind, she fades out. That's not leadership. That's not greatness. That's branding.
Yeah, she did wear the villain role on her sleeve, no doubt about that. She didn't do a lot to help herself when she was winning the NCAA championship last year against Iowa, and she was taunting Caitlin Clark. But did we forget that Caitlin Clark had been doing the same thing to numerous opponents throughout that season last year? That it wasn't until she was humbled in that national championship game against LSU that she dialed it back a little bit? You can't want to be the villain. You can't pride yourself in being the villain, and then you lose, and all of a sudden you succumb to those emotions. That is true to some degree. But usually when you lose and you have an opportunity to sit back and reflect, there's a mountain of emotions that get heaped on your shoulders, and it's hard to hold it in. Not to mention when teammates are coming to your defense because they realize how the insults against you have been so...
Here's the hard truth. Talent without effort means nothing. Reese has the tools, size, skill, athleticism, but they're useless if you don't apply them consistently. It's like having a Ferrari and never taking it out of the garage. Flashy, yes. Effective, not even close. She seems more interested in being seen with the car than driving it anywhere. Chicago thought they were drafting a franchise cornerstone. What they got instead was a reality show lead. Every game became a subplot. Every practice, a question mark. And now, with the season still underway, she's walked out, again. Maybe next week we'll see a podcast appearance about protecting her peace, maybe another Instagram post about self-care. And while she frames her exits as empowerment, let's call it what it is, quitting.
Something that isn't, she's got a back injury. Like, I'm not going to be out here saying that Angel Reese needs to go out and play through a damn back injury. I just don't think is the case, especially when your team is as bad as it is. Like, absolutely just stinking it up constantly. Like the Chicago Sky.
Real leaders don't disappear when things get tough. They show up, they take accountability, they push through the noise. Clark proves that every night. She's not ducking the grind, she's embracing it. While Reese makes sure her lighting's right for the post-game fit check, Clark is lifting her team, possession after possession. And here's where the frustration really hits. Reese could be great, she has what it takes, but she refuses to do what greatness requires. She's still looking for another LSU, a stacked roster she can parachute into, soak up the spotlight, and collect the credit while others carry the load. She wants the championship parade, not the practices. She wants the confetti, not the contact.
You threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons in a row.
This isn't about one player choosing to leave. This is about a pattern that's played out over and over again. Reese is chasing fame, not basketball excellence. And in today's social media-driven sports landscape, that can still get you headlines, but it won't get you wins. It won't get you legacy. And eventually, the endorsements fade, the likes slow down, and all that's left is your record. Something you can't edit or filter. The WNBA is not college. This isn't LSU. Every night, you're facing the best of the best. If you don't show up, it shows. You can't coast. You can't hide. And you definitely can't walk out without consequences. But somehow, Reese keeps getting passes. Because she's a brand. Because she trends. Because she's loud and defiant and flashy.
She refused to travel with the team to Connecticut, obviously showing a complete lack of leadership. Complete lack of leadership, man. Caitlin Clark's been hurt. She traveling with the team, supporting on the bench. You're supposed to be there with your troops. You're supposed to be there with your troops, cheering them on. You know what I'm saying? Giving them that energy from the bench, from the sideline, whatever. She not even traveling with the team, yeah.
Meanwhile, Clark will keep building, quietly, relentlessly. She's not trying to be the face of anything. She's letting her game speak. And that's why she's already separating herself. Not just in the box score, but in trust, value, and leadership. Clark is a hooper. Reese is a headline. And Chicago, they'll move on. Maybe even get better. Because a team doesn't need a superstar. It needs commitment. They need players who bleed for the jersey, who play through pain, who show up even when the seats are half empty and the playoff hopes are fading. You don't build a dynasty with drama. You build it with discipline. Angel Reese isn't a villain, but she's not a victim either. She's a talented athlete with a golden opportunity that she keeps walking away from. Not because she's overwhelmed, but because the spotlight isn't always squarely on her. And when it's not, she checks out. This isn't new. This isn't shocking. This is who she's shown herself to be. And until that changes, don't expect the results to.
That's it for today's video. Like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.